You're on the Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez.
Yes, you're on the Punchline.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, your sound.
Who did that?
You.
Oh, because it's on the YouTube somewhere.
Yeah. It's all right.
Always do that, right? No.
Just give me your phone. You talk to the people. Talk to the people, John.
It's the people that we need to talk to.
Well, we had a good, big weekend of boxing last weekend, and we didn't
have a chance to really talk about.
How you doing, Jeff? No, we didn't have much of a chance, but there's some good fights tonight, so we're going to get out here a little early so we can catch Lipinets and Peterson tonight.
What time do those come on?
I think 8. I think they said the undercard starts at 6, but the main event won't be till 10 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
We got 10 or 11. We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
How do you got that going tonight, Lipinets and Peterson?
I got to go with Lipinets. I think a couple years ago, I definitely take Peterson.
Yeah.
I just think Peterson's a little wore down, but you never know. I think it's going to be a great fight, actually. It's another fight that I would love to say I don't want to give an answer to because it's just one of those type close fights. I think it can be, or anybody can win.
I'm gonna take Lipinets pretty straight up on this, man. I think Lipinets is a good up and coming fighter, and I think the loss that he did have to Mikey last year is a good learning experience for him.
Yeah, I'm on shit.
Thanks, Jeff. Oh, I know, but you can't say anything anymore because you're biased towards California fighters, Mexican fighters, Chinese fighters, Oriental fighters, Native American fighters, polar bear fighters.
But no, I do. I got Lipinets in this one. Again, I think if this fight was a couple years ago, I would definitely probably take Peterson, Lamont. Yeah, but with it being now, I'm gonna go with Lipinets. I just think Lipinets is a strong fighter.
I do too. Well, and then last week we were in Dallas. We had a whole week in Dallas, 4 days in Dallas. It was a good 4 days. The fights were pretty exciting. I don't think I didn't expect the result of what happened with Errol Spence and Mikey. No. I expect it to be more competitive, but it goes to show that Errol Spence's dominance and how good he really is, and that Errol Spence does have another gear. And what's scary is I think that he may have another one too that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, Brandon Livingston said he loves your shirt, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's
thank you, Robert.
That fight,
thank you, bro.
You know, it was a fight again, as I said, and I'm not changing my tune at all. I think it was a fight that going in, I would have thought it was going to be more competitive too. Again, I didn't pick a winner in that one.
No, you actually were one of the very few that did not pick a winner.
Yeah, but yeah, Spence came out. He looked strong, and I don't think even if people want to say the size, even if Mikey was the same size, I don't know if that would have played a role in that fight. I think a little bit of the natural size did help because. Even when Mikey tried to kind of figure out, and I seen that Mikey figured out some things that Earl was doing, he still couldn't stop it though. You know, he couldn't stop. Like, it really wasn't that great of a jab that Spence was throwing, but Mikey couldn't do anything with it because it was long. Yeah. But there was a lot of things to the credit of Spence that he did right too. Spence did change up. He did not give the same look for 3 minutes around. You know, he gave different looks and he used his ability and skills to his advantage, and even his size, which a lot of guys don't do. And Errol Spence was able to do that in this fight. And I just, I tip my hat to Spence. He fought a brilliant fight. And I tip my hat to Mikey, man. The heart, balls, and courage. Not only did he show it taking the fight, but he showed it during the fight too.
Jeff says, I'm not sure the difference in reach, but he used it. You know, reach, when you're at that level, reach is not as big a deal as people think it is when you're at that kind of level. I think it was more of, anything Mikey adjusted to, Errol already had an answer to it. I think that was the bigger thing there. EJ was able to adjust to anything that Mikey did that night. And I think that it was him having a strong game plan and sticking to his game plan that night. And he never got rattled.
Yeah, I disagree on the reach thing. I think when you're at that level, I think reach really has a big thing to do because it's hard to get in on reach, especially if you got a guy who knows how to use it at a world championship level. But what about a guy that negates people's reaches like Canelo? Because he's always behind the power curve.
But
then now you got 2 fights though, so now you got to get past the reach, and then you got to also land your combos and punches. So it's still, you got more at hand than the taller guy. Yeah. But going back on that, but again, you can't take nothing away from Errol Spence on it because a lot of guys. I was one of them guys that did it in a handful of fights. I didn't use that advantage.
No, you didn't fight tall.
I didn't fight tall. I didn't, I like banging. I like mixing it up.
Yeah.
Earl Spence in his fight used that. He didn't get caught up in it. And if he did, it was because he knew he could get away with it. And he knew that he was able to do it with Mikey. So, I just thought it was a really good fight.
I agree. Thing is this. The thing that bothers me, and I'm not saying it bothers me because people have the right to their opinion, but I hear everybody saying, oh, Mikey's ruined. Mikey is a D-level fighter. Mikey wasn't exposed for shit. He's not a D-level fighter. He got beat. And you know how many fighters have been beaten and not ruined? Lennox Lewis got knocked the fuck out, and he came back. Mike Tyson beat. Roy Jones knocked out, and he came back and won.
I agree.
These guys, boxing fans for the most part are so fickle. If you slip or you don't do as well, automatically you're a bum or whatever, and that's not the case. Mikey Garcia ran into a fighter that was much better. It's enough. That's all can be said. Errol Spence was a better fighter.
Well, people do that with, for instance, and I'm being honest, and I'm going to use me for the last time, but when I got beat by Hopkins, listen, no, I didn't ruin my career. And a lot of people say that.
What, he won fight 7 more times?
Yeah, I mean,
he won 7 more fights in a row.
You didn't get knocked out. I mean, yeah, I took an ass whooping. Mikey took an ass whooping. But listen, his brain didn't get scrambled. If his brain got scrambled, he would have went down. He would have got knocked down. He jumped up. He fought a excellent fighter in Earl Spence. Mikey is far from being done. And if Mikey is done, it's going to be because Mikey retired, as he's already mentioned that he does not want to be in the sport that long as it is.
After 32.
He got some big fights, 2 more big fights or 3 more, or maybe 1, whatever he wants. Mikey's going to go back down in weight now. And actually, I think, if anything, he's going to take the experience from fighting up at 147 and a guy like Earl Spence, and he's going to use that to his advantage when he goes back down in weight.
I agree. Let's go to David Benavidez now. What did you think about David Benavidez' performance, Kelly?
I thought he looked sharp.
Justin agrees too. Justin shaking his head, yeah.
I think the opponent was, I don't know how much he really came to fight, but I think that, and the reason why I say that, just with the weigh-in and everything else that kind of took place and how he looked in the night of the fight.
He was being pretty dramatic at the weigh-in, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Benavidez fought a good fight. I mean, he used everything. He just looked sharp, crisp, and strong, fast. You name it, he looked it. He did a hell of a job.
Richard's calling somebody a bum. I don't know who, but I don't know. But that's all right.
Chris Hardy says Spence can grow into 154 and 160 easily. I don't know 160.
I don't know. He probably can be. Earl Spence isn't as young as people think. He's 28 years old now. I mean, he's not.
And easily be dominant. Mikey has maxed out at 140 and possibly 147.
Yeah.
Against the right opponent. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Both fantastic fighters at their own weight. Yeah, I don't see Spence being dominant at 160.
No, you got big problems there at 160. You know what I mean? You got some Canelo issues and some Danny Jacobs, some Triple G, and
I see some interesting fights. Hey, listen, still, I think Spence was a great fighter, and I told you guys before I even had him as higher than Crawford at one point.
Yeah.
But he's not clear from the 147-pound division yet. He has not fought Crawford yet. So I mean, I think that's a big fight that we're not talking about that he may not win.
Well, Darren has a good question about that too. He said, I had Mikey ahead of Spence on my pound-for-pound list. Does that mean I should switch them now, even though I feel Mikey lost to him because of unfair advantages and had a better resume? I would switch it.
Yeah.
Because it's not an unfair advantage. Mikey took that fight knowing good and well what the end could be. If Mikey would have won, you guys would have moved him to number 1. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So no.
Errol
Spence earned his. If Errol Spence moved up in people's pound-for-pound ratings, he earned it. He earned it. He fought and it's not him winning, it's how he won. Nobody beats Mikey Garcia that dominant, or anybody, a 4-time world champion that dominant, and it doesn't say something about the kind of caliber of fighter he is.
Mikey chose to go to 147, and he fought him at 147. Mikey didn't stay at 135 and fight Spence at 147. Spence gets the credit and moves up.
Donovan, fights that change the fight are ones like Meldrick Taylor, Chavez. Yeah. But also, what kind of fights did Meldrick Taylor was already in prior to that?
Meldrick Taylor got hurt bad in that fight a couple times.
And he had bones breaking in his face.
Yeah, I mean, he got buckled. I didn't even see people say, oh, Mikey's leg buckled in the one round. The only time I seen Mikey's leg go a little bit was a body shot.
The body shot in the ninth is what I saw. You know, right now, I think Crawford, and Richard says the same thing. Richard's talking about Crawford needs to get past Khan. No, I think Crawford's the best fighter in the world. I think he's the best welterweight in the world.
And he does have to get past Khan, too. Yeah, we know
he's
that.
going to have to, but as of now, I still think he's the best fighter in the world. When him and Spence fights, we'll find out who the best welterweight in the world is. What? Crawford's fight April 20th. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're going.
Ricardo Esquivel.
April 20th.
Says, what do you think, Canelo and Spence catch weight? Who wins? I don't think that's too much of a competitive fight. Canelo's fighting guys
68,
75. Fought big guys, big middleweights like Triple G, and is getting ready to fight Danny Jacobs, who's a fantastic big middleweight. So I don't want to really see that fight. If you're talking about Spence, I want to see Spence fight one of the 154 guys. I want to see him fight Crawford right now.
Let him fight. Let him fight Jarrett Hurd, or even one of his stablemates, one of Charlos. Yeah. Let him fight one of those guys. I mean, at 54, if that's what he wants, or even Kana Islam, or even Patrick Teixeira, one of these guys. You know, let's Canelo, or Errol Spence moving up to fight Canelo is the same disadvantages that Mikey had moving up to fight Errol.
No,
even probably more brutal.
Bobby Dazzler says, Con Crawford, can Con bring an upset, seeing as he's a bigger dude and that speed? Bobby, that's what I've been saying. I think this is a tougher fight
than people give credit for.
This might be another type fight where Crawford could beat Khan.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Crawford may not get the credit because a lot of people were already saying, like, well, Khan gets knocked out and or Khan is an older guy now. But Khan is a hell of a fighter. And even when the fights that Khan got knocked out, he was winning them fights against really good fighters.
Yeah.
If Crawford goes in there and handles Khan, to me, there's no argument that he's definitely number one, and he cemented it. But I think it's an interesting fight. I truly do.
Nicholas Kenny says, what do you think about Alejandro Popo Salinas' KO win?
I think that was a good win for Popo coming off a loss, and yeah, he's been off for a little while.
11 months, right?
Yeah, 11 months. And for his first fight back, he stayed composed for the most part of the fight, and he finished strong. And that's important for a kid who's coming back after a loss, and especially he had a loss in his hometown. Popo showed a lot in that fight, and that was a really big win for him, and especially the way that he ended it. He looked sharp, and he threw hard punches in the mid rounds and later rounds, and he took the kid out and did what he was supposed to do. And I love Popo, and he's a really good fighter.
I think Jack Lowe did a really good work with him on this fight. I think he changed it up from last fight. He looked a lot different than he did last fight, and I think I would attribute that to Jack and his team. They
absolutely,
they changed some things up, and they kind of took him back to school a little bit. And I can't find any negatives on the fight. And
especially like I said, coming off a loss like that in the hometown, it was good work being able to go back in there, and he dominated the fight. He controlled the fight, even when there was not much going on. He still was controlling the action in the fight, and it was a big win.
Richard said, "What about Fury Shores?" To be honest with you, I know very little about Schwartz. I've seen him fight a couple times, but right now, I think Fury's just a great boxer.
Yeah. Well, we got two questions on Mikey Loma.
Okay.
Is that the one you're going with, the Bobby Dazzler? Yeah. Do you think that Mikey versus Loma fight will happen? And did Mikey jump 2 weights to dodge Loma? Bobby, no. First of all, let's go back. We've already hopped on that a lot with the Mikey and Lomachenko.
Why would you jump 2 weight classes, jump out of the skillet into the frying pan?
I know. Well, that was kind of the situation supposedly when I was ducking
Paul Williams
to go 2 weight classes to fight Bernard Hopkins.
Oh,
but
don't get me started.
Don't. And but no, again, that's coming down. That's what promotional companies do. I still think eventually Top Rank's always kind of, not say gave in or gives in, but they want to make the big fights. They do. And so, yeah, they have a little bumps and headbutts going on with camps.
They want to make the best. They want to make the best fights at the best price.
So if the demand for that fight, which I think it may come, and I think that might be the best opportunity for Mikey, especially if he's coming to the end of his career like he says he wants to, that may be a fight for him to take. So it may happen. But no, Mikey's not dodging Lomachenko.
Your buddy says, Tom says, Khan gets stopped, champ. Khan is only good for the first and 5 rounds. He gets exposed by fighters.
Tom, after the last statement with the basic thing, I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not. I'm gonna talk to some of these other guys on
No
boxing.
Should I put that kid's picture back up again?
Yeah, put him up.
No, we're done with it. We're done with it.
Hey, I got a new picture to put up. Old Mr. Red in his crack bag.
This guy on.
This guy, he was like, he wanted to talk shit about to me and Kelly and a bunch of us, and he talked about how he always gets women. And he had a picture with this girl laying in bed with him, but he didn't take into account the picture of crack he had laying right next to his head. How he was.
That was a real picture. Like, I thought that was just a meme or something.
No, that was a legit picture with the crack. He didn't know it was. He forgot the crack was there.
You want me to put that?
Yes. You want me to send you the picture?
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
I thought it was just some dumb.
Yeah. Find that. Chris Hardy goes, Khan is back with Virgil Hunter for the fight as well. That could be the key to him being in with the chance of getting a decision. It could be. I mean, listen, he's still fighting Crawford, though, and Crawford's, we all know how good Crawford is, so.
No, my thing on this is this. Crawford, I think, is the best welterweight in the world. Do I think he beats Khan? Absolutely. I do think he beats Khan. But do I think it's going to be easy? No. I think if Crawford's a slow starter. We know that. He's a 3-4 round guy, right?
Jesus, you post a lot of shit.
Wait.
I know. I've been on a roll lately. But I think that Crawford could give, I think Khan could give Crawford a hell of a lot of problems as a boxer if he doesn't get caught. If Crawford doesn't knock Khan out and that fight goes to scorecards, that could be really interesting. Because nobody's ever outboxed Amir Khan. He's never happened. He's been knocked out.
Good fighters. And
he had Canelo on his back feet, didn't he?
In the fights that he got knocked out, he was winning against guys like that.
He had Canelo on his back foot.
He did. James Burrell says, I don't understand this one. Do you think Loma dodged Mikey by not moving to 147?
It's not their weight, guys. It's who they fight for.
So why would Loma have anything to do with 147?
Loma's a small lightweight. You know what I mean? But
Does this guy have a name or not?
Yeah, Red Cooper. REDD. But but why would the thing is this, guys, it's all about promotion companies. It's not as easy as you think to just get a fight on. A lot of people think that they could just go and sign a fight.
No,
it's like putting two multimillionaires in a room and trying to discuss anything business. It's going to take time, but we all know Mikey has issues with Top Rank. Top Rank have issues with Mikey. I don't know who's right or wrong. I wasn't there, but either way, there's issues there, and they need to work that out before there's a fight. And that's it. A company loses $3 million. They're not going to want to do business with you.
I just got done literally 4 minutes ago saying that, and we do this every week with the Mikey Loma situation. That fight comes down to promotion right now. Believe me, I'm sure each fighter wants that fight. So you can't say that fighters are dodging. It's usually never the fighter's decision.
These guys are athletes. They're not. Most fighters are not scared of each other. They're athletes.
You want to fight.
That's what they do. They've been fighting. Most of them been fighting since they were 7 or 8 years old.
Mine, I know. Even with my fights, I wanted to fight. You want to fight the best. Nobody wants to be like talking about ducking, dodging. It don't come down to the fighter. It's what's best for the promoter and what's going to generate more money, or who's going to get a better cut. Who's going to spend less? Everything comes into play on that.
True. See, now, you know what, Dan, to be honest with you, I'd rather see Mikey in Pro Grace. I think Loma might be just a little too small for Pro Grace. But I think Mikey in Pro Grace is where I'd want to go. That's a great fight. And I told Kelly about that fight. That's an amazing fight.
James Burrell, I don't know. Look at Mikey's ESPN interview. Said Loma ducked him.
That's what they're gonna. They all say that. Yeah. That's part of what. But they're not. Just because they said it doesn't make it a fact. You know what? That's how they get these. That's how these interviews, these reporters get views by saying.
That's another thing.
And Loma said sign it. And
fighters always say. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like even fighters, and this is another thing that I actually was talking to a couple of people about. I was explaining to them, like, even fighters that are in the camp, the guys themselves, the champions, don't know the truth behind anything or what's really going on. There's only one person in all of boxing that knows what's going on, and that's the main guy.
The promoter.
The promoter.
Bob Arum and Todd are the only two that know what the fuck's going on.
Mikey may say one thing that he won't do this, or Lomachenko, or Spence may say something. But they're saying what they're hearing from the people above, and the people above are probably telling them just to keep them happy or keep everything moving. Nobody really knows the game plan or the situation.
Here said Mauro Martinez said, "What's up, James? What's up, Kelly? Great seeing you last week. It was great seeing you too. I mean, that was awesome, dude. I'll tell you what. And I'm not just saying this, Kelly. I've been to hundreds of fights in my life, and I know you've been in the biggest stages in your life, right? You've been in biggest stages, but this was the most impressive fight I've ever been to. Just the atmosphere of that.
It was nice. It really was.
That was the most impressive. Like Madison Square Garden, I've been to the Grand Olympic, I've been to the MGM. I've seen fights basically everywhere. Even in Europe, I've seen fights, but I've never seen to like that level. 47,580 some odd people just going crazy, weren't they?
Yeah, it was,
I mean, how long did it take?
It was good for the sport.
How many fucking autographs did you sign? Pictures did you take?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
There's a lot of them.
That fucking. Hey, I even signed a few. I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to sign? Oh, well, they think you don't believe in Jesus, right? I got accused of not believing in Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Guy came up. That was your buddy.
That was Frank.
Frank.
Fucking Frank.
Frank's funny as hell.
Frank from Robert Garcia's camp.
Yeah.
He accused me of not believing in Jesus, and Ellie did the video, and I said I believe in Jesus. I had a fight with him for 20 minutes, and Frank was fucked up. He was trying to fight with Kelly, trying to fight with Ellie, trying to fight with Robert. He tried to fight the whole team.
I thought Frank was funny as hell.
Oh, Frank is funny, but the thing is, like, he's talking about these gloves. I buy a fucking glove. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you even talking? But I had no idea what he's talking about. I was just like, oh, okay. You bought gloves. I did. I don't even know what he's talking about. He goes, you got him.
Well, yeah, Frank. You know, that was funny too. You mentioned about my last fight or something.
He didn't even know
I could have won, and
yeah,
Robert had to tell him that I won that last fight.
Yeah, and Damon said James Dominguez Antichrist. You know what? And I told him I believe in God. I said my memes are fucked up, but I still believe in God. But yeah, I was like, wow, dude. But it was a good time. I mean, we ran into a lot of old friends there. We made a lot of new ones. You know. Mm-hmm. You know what really surprises me? What's really crazy? Tell me if you've noticed. Have you noticed the difference between the way the media treats us from when we first started till now?
Yeah,
it's
well, they do. I mean, we're around all the time too, though.
Yeah, it's true. They treat us like we're actually in the media now, not just fucking.
Well, a lot of them were pissed about that, especially this fight. I mean,
we did see some.
You know, like
we're
getting credentialed for it. We're still fairly new to it, and
we're getting just as good credentials as them.
I mean, I understand, you know, everything, you know, me being a fighter and all that, but these guys have been there for a while, so I see their point. Hold on, Joe Lo goes, I really like Mike, but not just jumping 2 weight classes. It was a huge step up in competition. Mike has won multiple belts in 4 divisions, but really, who's his best win? Salido, Easter, Spence, was a leap.
Broner,
yeah. And, you know, we'll see tonight with Lipinets. If Lipinets goes on to win. It's not
always about the win. It's how you won. Do you know what I mean? Up until that point, he's dominated everybody he's fought. So, I don't know. And you know what? Can you blame the fighter for having a weak weight class? 130, 135 was not at 126 was not a super big weight class. And when he fought Salido and Wanma in their prime. He didn't fight these guys that were out of their prime fighting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He was knocking guys out.
How you say that guy Joshua was fighting his name? Joshua Buatsi.
Oh, yeah.
At light heavyweight chaps. Look him up. He's coming for everyone.
Yeah.
From Chris Hardy. Oh, the picture's up.
Ruben says, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing Pac-Man doesn't sound like he wants to fight Spence, insinuating that he's scared. 8-time fucking division champion on his way out. This is the fight you guys want. I like Spence, but he's not the best payday.
He hardly speaks English really well.
Pacquiao? Yeah. No, I agree with Ruben. Pacquiao's not scared to fight anybody. You know what, though? Pacquiao's not as stupid as people think he is. Pacquiao's not going to agree to anything until those terms are correct.
I heard that one, too. Like, Pacquiao's not afraid of, you know, he can't speak English that well.
No, but
he answers the same way he does with every fight. He answers the same way he did when they were talking about him fighting Mayweather. I think that's a big fight for Pacquiao. Pacquiao will like that. Pacquiao's on his way out. He probably wants one more big shot at the.
Do I think Pacquiao beats Spence? Absolutely not. But do I think that that's a way to get more money up? No, but he's not the best payday. But he's right now. Him or Crawford are probably the best 2 paydays in the 147 division.
I think for boxing and what Pacquiao, if he would happen to win that fight, where it could put him at again, and where it could cement his legacy at, which obviously he's already a Hall of Famer. But that's the way Pacquiao is. Pacquiao likes to fight. He wants that fight.
But with Manny Pacquiao, anything's possible with him. Do you know what I mean? He's a guy that volume, volume he throws can make anybody night bad.
And believe me, Spence wants that fight too.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, because who else does Spence got right now where he's going to make the money that he's going to make against Pacquiao?
Crawford.
Yeah, but you
Maybe
think,
that's it.
and he probably won't still make as much.
No.
And
with
Spence probably figures, damn, it's time to make like a big ass payday.
He didn't even make a big payday for this Mike. Not as big as payday as you would figure for Mikey. What I think $3.5 million. I mean, I'm not saying that's not. That's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it wasn't compared to what Mikey brought in.
Well, remember at the post fight when I told you I wanted to ask that question too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my take on that, or I wanted to ask the people at the post fight conference about this. But is this kind of like a setup to like really piss on Spence? You know, like piss him off or come down on him?
The picture in the back.
Yeah. You got he took a fight, which he may get. A lot of people were going to say, "Well, you fought a lightweight." Now, again, this ain't coming out of my mouth. I'm just saying what a lot of people, said, because he took a pounding on a lot of the boxing groups about not being able to knock Mikey out.
Yeah.
So now you take that fight and you turn around your next fight and you just say you fight a Pacquiao who's older, and after the Horn fight, a lot of people were counting Pacquiao out.
Yeah.
So even though Pacquiao is still a game fighter, he goes and he beats up Manny Pacquiao or goes to decision with him, and a close decision now. What does that say? Like, where does the heat come from on that one? I mean, it's going to come down. They're going to say, is that kind of like setting them up maybe to take the beating from the media and everyone else?
Basically,
well, you fought a lightweight, and now you turn back around and fight a 45-year-old man. It's
Jeff Zimmerman has a good one. Pac versus Thurman seems next. That's closer.
That'd be a good one.
That's actually closer for Pac. That's winnable for Pac. But I don't know. Ruben says, I think Crawford deserves that fight before Spence. Everyone wants to fight Pac-Man. That's money. That's good money. That's a big payday. But they got that Red Cooper in the back. Well, let me tell you the story on Red Cooper, guys. Indulge me for a minute. Red Cooper, he's what they would call he self-proclaimed himself a roast god. He gets on Facebook and he destroys groups and he roasts people, and he thinks that he can do that. Well, he tried that the other day with Samia and my friends, and he posted an ATM receipt a couple months ago with $262,000 on it and said this is his bank account. Well, we did a little Google reverse image, and we found out it was Colin Farrell's receipt that he had dropped in North Hollywood. You know what I mean? And the trash can. Somebody pulled out, took a picture. Well, Red tried to pass that $262,000 receipt as being his. We Googled it. We made fun of him. He got on there, and because this takes confidence. This takes confidence to be caught in such a big fucking lie like that and try to roast you even though you've been caught. So after we made fun of him, he said, well, I'm not going to listen to guys like you and Kelly and Damon and all these guys that can't get women, 40-year-olds that can't get women. This is what I'm laying in bed with. So he's laying in bed with this girl right here, and he has pictures of her doing nasty shit. But my only job in life is to look at pictures and examine what's going on around him. So I look at the top left-hand corner of the picture, and what do I see?
He says, "This is my only job in life."
Yeah. So my only job, that is my job. So I look at the top left corner, and I see a bag of crack on the bed. Now, it hits me. This is how he paid for that woman that he...
If y'all don't want to get fucked with, don't post pictures on fucking Facebook.
No. Oh, don't try to impress me with you. Don't try to impress me when you're laying in bed with a woman and you're in a wave cap and white tube socks. You know what I mean? And you have a bag of crack laying next to you in bed. And then why I observed the woman, I looked on her bottom lip. She has a big fucking herpes. I go, class dismissed. It's over. It's over.
That could be a burn mark from the pipe.
It could. It looked like a herpes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you asked for it, did you not?
Hey, when you get the bull, you get. Sometimes when you get the bull, you get the horns, don't you?
Wait, what do you guys think of Thurman in that division right now?
In
Mike
welterweight?
Donahue. You know what? He's a player, obviously, but I don't think he beats Spence. I don't think he beats Crawford. And who just said, I seen one where they said that, Thurman should fight, who do you say, Pacquiao? That's a better fight right there. So that's where I will go. And,
it's time. The welterweight division has some talent moving up into it, too. I'm real big on Teofimo Lopez moving up into the welterweight division. We know Virgil's on his way up eventually because the kid's 6 foot tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ricky goes, Lipiness Peterson are on.
Yes.
Ricardo says, Big G and Robert want Pacquiao next for Mikey. Who wins? I think that's another good fight.
I think Manny's closer to Mikey's size.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know.
That's a good fight.
I would go with Mikey in the fight. I would. I'd just go on the youth.
Especially now, the youth and everything. I would have to go with Mikey on that fight.
Amanda says, could be a fat lip where he beat her. Fair enough, Amanda. You're probably right.
that's the issue. Why I'm saying the age factor. That's why I'm saying like I think that's bad for Spence right now.
Yeah.
To take that fight coming off a fight with Garcia. I don't think there's anything personally wrong with it because I think it's a tough, dangerous Manny Pacquiao. But I'm just saying how the media will come down, and the critics will come down on him.
It's true. They're saying wave cap, white tube socks, herpy on the lip. Don't forget that patchy beard where he can't grow a beard in because all them years of studded inbred, all that years of studded inbreeding won't allow him to grow a full beard.
Is this the same dude that got that mouth? Who's that got the mouth, man?
It's him.
Grill.
It's him.
Oh, God.
Yeah, copper mouth. He has that copper tooth. It's like a gold tooth. I said the only reason he has that tooth is because he stole the copper out of his grandmother's air conditioning unit.
That shit in the morning,
right? He stole the copper out of his grandmother's air conditioning unit, and made a tooth out of it. Richard says, "How about the burn on her lips on the pipe?" Yeah, you know what? These crackheaded women don't give a fuck what his breath smell like. They're just looking for the next.
We're getting more comments on this one though than the kid last week. I thought the kid last week was better.
Yeah,
no.
But people don't like to make fun of retards. What?
Yeah.
He would just, you know what? Anytime,
he's like a typical West Side
dude.
Kid.
When a guy pulls his shirt up and bites his shirt to hold his shirt up, what else can you say? He was using his teeth to hold his shirt up to take a picture.
Philadelphia Eagles jersey.
A jersey, and then wait a minute, and then the dog ears, that dog ear picture that your wives and girlfriends and your kids put up. That's what he had. That dog picture.
I got a picture of Carly.
Do you?
Oh.
Can I put that up on the Grizzly?
I don't care. Go ahead.
But
I thought it looked cute.
It was very cute.
So let's what do you want to get into on let's do Danny Jacobs Canelo before we sign off of here.
Yeah.
How do you think that one's gonna go, Kelly?
I had this conversation today with my buddy Lonnie.
Oh yeah.
And I picked Canelo in that fight.
Canelo's gonna whoop his ass. I'm gonna say it right now.
Yeah. I think if Danny Jacobs fought like he knows how to fight,
he can make it.
I think it's hard for anybody in the middleweight division to beat Danny Jacobs.
Yeah.
When he shows that little spurts and little brilliance, and excellence in there, and he does that. But then he, like I said before, it's like almost when Danny Jacobs fights, I think like he's in the ring going, "Fuck, did I leave the gas on at home?" Or am I going to get? Is this fight going to be over in time for me to?
Right? I got to pay DirecTV this month.
I got to pay DirecTV, and and the old lady's up my ass about the taxes and
mowing the fucking grass.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Danny Jacobs has that same.
Yeah, like where's the after party going to be?
Yeah, Danny Jacobs has that same look of a guy that's scratching lottery tickets when he fights. You know what I mean? He's just fucking focused, hyper-focused on nothing.
That's the thing. Like even in the Triple G fight, he didn't pick it up till like he got dropped.
Yeah.
I think in this fight, I think maybe if Canelo, the worst thing Canelo could do is drop him in the fourth round or something.
And turn the lights on.
Yeah, turn the lights back on for Danny Jacobs. So with that being said, that's the reason why I got to roll with Canelo, because the lapses that Danny Jacobs has. But again, I think Danny Jacobs is a fantastic fighter, a fantastic dude. I like Danny Jacobs. I'm a big fan of him. But for this fight, because of that reason, I think if he tried changing or whatever he tried in camp, it's not going to be enough time to turn it around in one fight.
Ruben says, James, he's going to whoop his ass. Depending on which Jacob shows up, we'll determine that. But what Canelo always shows up, though.
Yeah.
That's what we're scary of. It's not what Jacob's, but what Canelo's been showing up. I think, and I'm not a big fan of Canelo. I'm not a super big fan of Canelo, but I do respect him. I think he's a great fighter, and I think Canelo has actually hit his prime. I think right now we're looking at a prime Canelo at 27 years old. And I agree, Jeff. But yeah, I think so. But I don't know, man. I don't see a way around right now somebody's beating Canelo. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Michael Donahue goes, hey, what do you guys think of Thurman in that division right now? Real quick, we're going to hop back on this. I think, he's a guy, he's a player in that division. I mean, Thurman was kind of like a guy that ruled that division for a short period of time before
he took some time off.
Your Crawford and him came into it and came into their own. But now, I'm sorry, I got Spence. I got Crawford, over Thurman right now. I do. So, and actually, I think Porter could really give Thurman. I think that's a fight that could go either way, because Porter's just a hard guy to fight. That's strong.
Yeah. Darren says, "What do you think about Canelo moving to fight Kovalev? Too far to jump." That's, you know what? It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing as Mikey and Spence. It's a big jump, but also what Kovalev is showing up that night. Kovalev is the preeminent Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for a fight. You might get Kovalev, who's trained his ass off, and you might get Kovalev, who sat in his expedition smoking cigarettes and drinking vodka. Because I've seen it happen in person. I saw him at the Ward fight.
Well, either one of them are dangerous.
Even so, but dangerous enough.
Because that was the same one that showed up to the first Andre Ward fight and made it a really, really good fight. I just think that, no, you're talking.
I don't, but that was also 3 years ago. Kovalev, not a 38-year-old Kovalev, you know?
I know, but for Canelo to go up, now you're talking light heavyweight. That's, you're in a different playground now.
Derek said, will Mikey meet Loma?
You're a 7th grader on the fucking playground recess with juniors and seniors.
Yeah. Derek said, well, Mikey meet Loma at catchweight. Why? They're both 135. There's no catchweight to make. Mikey don't fight catchweights. Mikey refused a catchweight against Errol Spence. He could have had it, and he refused it. He wanted 47. Mikey can make 35 easy, and we know Loma's 35. There's no catch weight to make.
Yeah. Fernando goes, Kelly, thanks for the autograph. You know my coach, Christine Lopez from Dallas. Yes, we do, Fernando.
That's our homie.
No problem. Frampton signed with ESPN Plus.
Yep.
And Top Rank last week.
Thurman's not eating any top welters. I have to agree with Ruben on that. I really don't think he is. I think Thurman's that third guy. Remember we talked about that pyramid?
Yeah.
Where you have the 2 top guys and you have that bottom guy on the bottom? That's Thurman. You know, Thurman and Porter are those guys on the bottom of that pyramid. You have Spence and Crawford and then basically everyone else.
Hector Ramon says, Canelo will shut everyone's mouth once and for all after Jacobs' win.
Who said that?
I think Hector Ramon. I think Canelo gets his props from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the issue. I don't think he's going to shut anybody's mouth because of beating Danny Jacobs. Or shouldn't, really. I'm not being mean on that one. But now if you beat a Kovalev, then, yeah, at 175, I think he shuts everyone's mouth. But, you know, it's still out there. I think right now Canelo is the best middleweight.
Yeah. I mean, he moved it to 68. And the guy, let's face it, wasn't a great fighter. But the way he walked through it, bigger man, was nothing. So,
or if he goes through a Benavidez.
Well, that's a different level.
That's what I'm saying at 68.
Let's not start talking ridiculous.
That's
Kelly.
what I'm saying. I agree. I mean,
Kovalev is in Benavidez.
That's where I keep saying, like, you know, it's different levels.
That's
at
like
that
saying
point.
Canelo and Bivol at 75. Do you know what I mean? That's a whole different level. Or 68. Richard says Canelo's Golden Boy fighter. He's not losing to no one. They try to get a C.J. Ross 114 draw versus Mayweather. Well, C.J. Ross is in the sport no more, and I don't think Golden Boy can do too much in some of these fights right now. I mean,
Ricardo, who wins from Rigas and Jose Ramirez?
I would have to go with Rigas. I like Jose Ramirez. I like him a lot. He's one of Robert's fighters, you know, and he's a world champion, Olympian. But I think I would take Prograis in that fight. I think Prograis is just one of those guys that are just amazing.
That's going to be interesting for that Canelo fight, though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's in L.A., right? Or Vegas. That's in Vegas. Yeah. We will not be attending that one.
No. Too much going on around that time, too. When is that fight? What's the date?
What is it, May? It's May, right?
A lot going on in May.
You got Florida this weekend, right? Next week?
Yeah.
So
Friday.
And you come home when?
Saturday. Yeah, man, there's too much going on to be gone.
Yeah. I'm hoping April's the last trip for a while.
Early May 4th.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo weekend. It's always.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I'm happy. Did you like the fights? Let's talk about the fights last night. Ramos and shit. My mind just went blank for a minute.
Oh,
Magdaleno. And I like Jesse Magdaleno. I like Diego more, his brother.
Yeah. It was just a good fight. I thought Ramos fought. He fought a really good fight.
I think Magdaleno just ate his ass up, man. Jesse Magdaleno.
I mean, Magdaleno
Jesse
fought a
beat
really
the
good
shit
fight.
out of him. But you know what? You know what I respect about Rudy Hernandez is working with Ramos. Rudy was honest with him the whole time of the fight. He told him, look, you're losing this fight. You need to pick it up. If you want to win, you're going to pick it up. You're not going to win this fight.
I hope he wasn't telling him he was winning.
No, he told him, if you're not winning this fight, you need to pick it up. We know Rudy's not that way. You know Rudy's going to tell somebody the truth about how they're doing.
A heavyweight fight, man. Ooh.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you know what? On that fight, well, then I'm going to get the names screwed up, but I can't really remember the names. Who was it? Pogolov or whatever?
Pulev.
He was in that fight, and he got cut bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a brutal cut, and actually, Rudy was the cut man, but he ended up coming back and he knocked the guy down. And a lot of people were saying that he punched him in the back of the head. I've seen a lot of things on that are like, boy, he really took it in the back of the head. The guy was doing this, okay? He was going like this, and he kept going down like nothing that you learned in the basics of learning how to box. Like the first thing you learn is like when you roll, not to put your head down.
Not to become arch or push your head down.
Yeah, or bend over and put your head down. You learn that. That is like the basics 101 of boxing.
Week number 2.
And this guy was fucking doing that over and over and over, and he got hit in the back of the head. He was already hurt too. Yeah. So this knockdown had nothing to do with the fight going one way or not. He got tired. He was trying to stop Pugachev and was like tired as shit.
Yeah.
And because Pugachev had the cut on his eye and everything. And a lot of people were making a big deal about that. I think they need to find a way in boxing, like when you put your head down like that and you get hit in the back of the head, or even the guys that do the shoulder rolls
and get hit in the back.
You get hit in the back of the head. It should not be a point. As a matter of fact, if anybody gets a point deducted, it should be a person turning their back and their body and opening, giving the back of the head an opportunity to be hit.
Well, and it's funny because people that do a shoulder roll,
they took a point.
I saw it
off of him last night.
I watched the highlights.
Yeah, so I'm like, why would you take a point off of him? The guy was going down, I understand, but you know what? When you're in the middle and you're in the ring and you're fighting, you got a guy hurt, especially after being cut, and the fight's really on the line because you could lose, they could stop the fight. It was ruled by a punch. You're going to do anything to get the guy out of there. And the guy was on his way down, already low as it is, so he couldn't tell. That's bullshit on that. I think actually they should have took a point. And if anything, they should have took an extra point from the other guy.
Well, that's going to tend to happen on a shoulder roll. The best way to combat it, as you know too, the best way to combat against a shoulder roll is an overhand right and off timing punches. Have your punches off timed a little bit, and that's the best way to beat a shoulder roll. I mean, we've seen guys like Marcos Maidana combat it with Floyd, and then you say guys like Jesus Chavez did it, and you've seen guys that can kind of bust through that mold just by being awkward. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's ways to get around that. I mean, but I'm just talking about the average guy coming in. I'm talking about if you're rolling as a punch is coming and you're going like this, and you get hit in the back of the head. Here's one right here. Eco or EK0 goes, someone needs to teach Khan how to counterpunch and make his style less amateur. Like 5-punch combos are nice, but he can't go in there with no other offensive skills. I don't see where it hurt him in any of his fights. I think him getting knocked out was not because of his amateur style. It was the fact of just leaving the chin up in the air and admiring his work.
Sitting there too long after he does that.
His combos and the way he punches was what had him winning almost every single fight that he's been in.
Yeah. And winning him a silver medal, yeah. Eric Spears says, do you guys see old Crazy Eyes, Alexander Usyk making trouble for the heavyweights? Absolutely. I think Usyk beats the majority of the heavyweight division when he moves up. Usyk is not a small guy. This guy walks around about 235, 240, 245. I mean, he was bigger than you when we saw him in New York.
A lot bigger than me. And that's the thing that I get into. Like, okay, your Wilder, who is one of the top heavyweights, is 216 pounds. Areola, who's still fighting, is 220 pounds.
No, 240.
Or 239. But a lot of them guys are between the 220s. Yeah. And even your guys that were all-time greats like Holyfield and Tyson were 216, 219.
Yeah.
And this guy is 6'4". Yeah. So that's a fairly good height in the heavyweight division. And he easily could walk around 240. You got to remember, too, like, don't talk about, well, he's not fighting a heavyweight. These guys are. Most of these guys that are 220 pounds or 230 pounds are 230 pounds all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So, but they don't have to make weight. So they eat the day before, the day of the weigh-in, and everything else, these heavyweights. These guys at cruiserweight are actually drying out and cutting down to try to make 200 pounds. So the night of the fight, they're going to probably be heavier than most of the heavyweights. Usyk will walk around the night of the fight at 225, 230.
They want us to talk about Tim Bradley's commentating. We will talk about that too before we go. Also, Darren says, I heard Gary Russell isn't fighting Leo next. Think we'll get it this year? It seems like the obvious easy fight. You would think so, but right now it's not they not fight each other. Gary Russell's not happy with the money situation for that fight. Gary Russell doesn't believe that he's a B-side. He believes that he should be. Well, Leo's the world champion. I mean, that's just how it works. He wants equal money. equal money for equal work, I guess. You know, he wants 50-50 split, you know. And Leo's saying some crazy like 70-30, 60-40, you know, but not a 50-50 split. Leo's not a stupid person. He's a smart businessman. He's a world champion.
Rockstar says Usyk is nowhere near 230.
What?
210, 220.
Who said that?
Rockstar. Dude, I was with him. I was 245 pounds when I was in New York.
Dude, we know his we knew his trainer.
Yeah.
Like, we know his trainer. We know what he walks around at.
What he walks around is 230 pounds, maybe on the light side.
Well, you know what? He probably knows Usyk. He probably hangs out with him all the time, right?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen it?
Sit at 220 with about 12-50% body fat.
Whatever.
Maybe fight night after when he's cutting and
rehydrated.
Yeah.
We know what he weighed in that night. We were there when he played Crawford chess that night. He was 230 at least that night. And then the last time we were there, but Justin was there. He was 245, man.
Rock Ligon says, do you see Dylan White getting his title shot with Wilder anytime soon? He's been silver champion for a long time now.
I could see that.
I think that comes down to the sanctioning body, too.
Donovan said, while in Dallas, did you see referee Lawrence Cole? I was wondering if he smells bad because he told a piece of shit as a boxing ref. You know, I did see him, but I have never spoke to Lawrence Cole as a ref. I've never spoke to him. I've seen him. I think we were at what's that club we went into? The club that was below the stadium where we go.
The Draft House or something.
Yeah, the Draft Kings. He was in Draft Kings when we were in there. And I think he said hello to Kelly when we walked past, but I didn't ever speak to him.
You guys catch the Michael Conlon fight on St. Patty's Day?
I did.
What do you think of him as a prospect? I like the kid.
I like Michael Conlon. He's always been really friendly with us, and he's just a classy guy. He's got
a long road, though, I think.
I think Michael. Yeah, I was just going to say that, Kelly. I personally, I don't know how Kelly feels, but I think Michael Conlon hasn't developed as fast as some of the other prospects that came out at the same time, like Shakur Stevens and Shakur Stevenson, and some of these other guys coming up. I think he's maybe a little slower as a prospect, but as a fighter, he's a good fighter. I just think that he hasn't developed as quick. I think he still kind of has that amateur style himself still.
Yeah. I don't know if he got little hand injuries and stuff like that too, you know, with the switching and everything, but.
What's up, Joel? Yeah, I agree. What do you think about him?
I think he's a good fighter. I think he's, he could definitely make some noise. He's Top Rank likes him. It's not out of question for him to win a title. No. If moved the right way.
And Top Rank's one of the best at moving fighters that direction. They're one of the best at it, and I can't even argue that point. If you have a young fighter that has a little bit of talent and want him moved the correct way, I would go with Top Rank over anybody.
See, like my brother Ricky says, Usyk too small. Well, Chris Bird, how big was Chris Bird?
About 215. He moved up from 156 in the Olympics.
A little under 6'2". I was actually a little taller than Chris Bird.
Yeah.
Evander Holyfield.
Usyk's pushing 6'4".
I think Usyk's taller than 6'4", dude.
Do you? He might be. He's tall, man.
I mean, he was a good amount taller than me. Yeah. He's not small. Usyk is. That's what I keep saying.
They have this idea that he's a small guy. He's fucking huge, man.
Wilder is 2'6". I know he's 6'6".
He was 212 his last 214.
I know he's 6'6". Yeah. But, so you're 2 inches taller than Usyk, and you're 20 pounds lighter.
I'm going to tell you right now, Usyk made weight because at the time he had the best strength and conditioning coach probably in the country. Cecilia Flores would melt him down from 230 to 240, 230 down to 199. So, I don't know. He's not a small guy at all. He's fucking big. But there was somebody else here. Oh, let's talk about Tim Bradley. People are asking about this Tim Bradley thing.
So you say Usyk is listed 6'3". Again, I know through my measurements, I am a tad under 6'2".
They have you registered. Some measurements have you at 6 foot, Kelly. Yeah. Some have you at 6'1".
Yeah. So
we know that's
6'3".
Yeah.
But I'm pretty much 6'2", and I know how much taller Usyk is than me, and it's fucking very noticeable.
How many times have you run into him already? Has he talked to you?
He's not like, oh, he's an inch taller than you. Like, no, he's fucking taller than me. Yeah.
That motherfucker might be wearing elevator shoes, but he is tall, man, and he's wide. Kelly was 245, and he was wider than Kelly, like his shoulders.
He's a big fucking guy. He's not small.
I mean, if you got Damon on here, Damon could vouch for it. Damon met the guy too. He's like, what the fuck?
Fernando goes, I'm still trying to see how Kelly is. I'm not 245 right now.
You're about 230?
237, 236, which ain't much off from 245, but.
It is off a lot. I know I'm late, but what a beating Mikey took from fans. It happens. It's part of boxing.
He's very skillful. Once he steps, you could argue he's the most skilled man at heavyweight. Rockstar said that.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, again, I just go back off. I know that the guys are a little bigger now on average than they were just say when Chris Bird was fighting in Holyfield and them guys, but it's not out of a question for a 6'4", 200-some pound man who throws 90 punches to be very dominant in the heavyweight division.
He might as well be Fury then. Yeah. Fury does that shit. He might hit harder than Fury too.
Yep.
But what'd you think about Tim Bradley going crazy, like acting like fucking nutty last night?
Listen, I understand that maybe ESPN or whatever the situation is. We seen it though, and we, it's done. It's out there, and I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it. I know people will be like, "Come on, it's petty. What do you care?" Because I'm watching a fight, and I want to watch like the commentating, and I want to really hear what they're saying, and I want to hear like the professional side of it, what they're saying, and talking about it. I don't want to see somebody pull out $600 and start and watch all the response from the other, co-hosts and commentators and everything.
You should do that on the Punchline, Kelly.
Yeah, firing hundreds in the air.
You want to do that on Punchline? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to do it next week.
Okay.
But I got to watch you two motherfuckers. Because you got, that should be fucking.
I didn't want to bring this up, but I am 14% Sephardic Jew. You might not keep that money.
Yeah, you fuckers will be gone.
You want to go to BJ's?
But yeah, it's I don't know. To me, I just don't want to see it. Not that, and again, it wasn't the worst thing. No, it's not. I'm not one of them like fucking elderly people that get offended by everything or these new snowflakes. But yeah. I just thought that it was one of the situations. It wasn't. There was no need for it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I like Tim Bradley. I do, but. To me, I wanted it was a good conversation piece that they were talking about.
He didn't need to go through. He didn't need to
the
do
Fury
all that.
Wilder. Yeah, and I was into it. And then when he did that, it totally took me out of it. And then, if you want to throw two, real quick, something, but you just
be throwing my EBT,
EBT
cards
going,
up in there and shit.
But, hey, we've seen people do it before. We've seen commentators, do stuff and be a little.
I think what's happening now. I think Bradley's trying to sell a fight for himself. I think we're getting to that point where he might want to fight himself. I think maybe he's starting to do a little outlandish shit now. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when the welterweight division became the WWE for about 6 months? Do you remember that when they all started fighting with each other in the ring?
And everybody was calling everybody but Spence.
Everybody was arguing. Nobody wanted to fight Spence, so they would go WWE with each other, so they didn't have to fight him.
I'll tell you one person who would have called it out, but he was at junior welterweight was Crawford.
Yeah.
Fernando said Ward was looking at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
he was.
You know what, though? I'll say that about Andre Ward. Andre Ward tries to keep everybody on task. Do you remember when he woke up, what the fuck's that dude's name? From ESPN? That commentator, he does all the sports. He's your buddy. Every time he sees you, he says hi. When he first take...
what's Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, he woke Stephen A. Smith up. Do you remember Andre Ward goes like this, too, when he was sleeping on the air?
But I'm saying, like, even Stephen A. Smith, he brings that kind of flair to... reporting and commentating, so you have that. It's already out there. I don't think we need more. I mean, I was really into it until that kind of happened, and it was just.
I agree.
You've got fantastic commentators like Boom.
Boom was an excellent commentator.
You got guys like if these people stir. I think they think we're crazy by saying Usyk. If 6'3" is not a small heavyweight,
dude. It's an average heavyweight. 6'3"
says 0. Kelly, give me your Xbox or PSN name so I can box you up on the fight night. I will eventually. I got to go back. It's Pewter Schmidt or something.
You don't even know your handle, son?
Yeah, it's all. Well, actually, it was Lonnie's stuff.
Yeah, we
Pewter Chimp.
I want to talk about something too since we can.
You do?
I do. Okay. I heard a lot of Ellie Seckback hate coming. Like over the past week and so, it's always about a lot of hate from Ellie Seckback. He's this, he's that. But, I want to say this. Like, Ellie Seckback is the hardest working fucking reporter I've ever seen. He is. I'm not, the dude does, we're with him. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't eat. He doesn't beg for money like a lot of these other boxing reporters do. They always have these GoFundMe so they can go here and go there. Ellie pays all this out of his own pocket, just like you do, Kelly.
Yep.
Just like you do. we don't have anybody that pays our trips or pays anything. Everything comes out of pocket, you know. But like I was saying, I see a lot. Oh, he's a bitch. He's this. I'll tell you what, man. That dude has done more for our show than a lot of other media people have. He's always helping out, and just that, I just think he's good at what he does, and I just think a lot of the hate he gets is bullshit.
Well, a lot of people say he's biased. Well, which reporter really ain't biased?
You know, is he biased? I mean, he's close to Garcia.
I know, but and I don't want to get into it because I'm going to say some things that'll piss a lot of people off.
Say it. Fuck
no,
him.
But there's a lot of bias out there, and I'm tired of it always being one fucking way. And
you know what?
And I am. I'm tired of hearing it. And you know what, Ellie? He does a fantastic job.
Did Ellie ever go out and say that Mikey was going to beat Errol? No, not one time did he say that.
He's biased, but he gives you the back. He gives you the scoop. He gets the access. He does hustle, and he brings the entertainment to the people who have a chance. If you like him or not, you know damn well you're getting the best, or you're getting behind the scenes. And to put him down because of how he works, I want to see you guys go to your regular day jobs and work as hard as he does at what he does.
Remember we saw him in Hollywood. He said 20 hours a day. 20 hours a day he works every day.
So yeah, I just don't.
I was just thinking that. I watched some of the YouTube footage that you were on there. Remember that night we were on there with Robert and them? And they were talking shit about him.
They do. I mean, your standard top 10 heavy is 6'5" and over nowadays. All the best contenders, up-and-coming prospects are around the size, but Usyk is class. Fantastic boxer, and I'll be rooting for him. He is a good boxer. Again, the size, he's a pretty big guy.
He's not a small guy. I think a standard small heavyweight is maybe 6'1", 6'2". I think 6'3", 6'4 is about average.
Yes, it is. And of course, you got about out of all the heavyweights. I mean, you got how many guys? Right, 5 at most. That I think is 6'6".
Yeah, there might be just a handful of them.
So that's not really a lot. And if you take all the people in boxing,
what is Joshua? Is he like 6'4"?
No, Joshua is 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, I don't know. But hey.
EKO says, have you guys seen Ellie from before? Yeah, we have. He aged like he's been working nonstop for sure. Laugh out loud. He does work all day long. And the dude always makes time for everybody. Yep. He makes time for his fans. He makes time for everybody. I don't have nothing but love for Ellie Sekback. I respect him. His hustle. But good show today. I think we went over everything we could go over. There was not much to tap into. Yeah, the WBC was just trying to find another way to. I'm not being mean. I shouldn't say it, but WBC just trying to find a way to milk another sanctioning fee by making a super heavyweight title. You can only do so many titles. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean that's what a sanctioning body's job is. They have so many titles because they want to make sanctioning money off sanctioning these fights. And it's helping some of these guys, get up, get higher, get attention. Right? Back when you were fighting, there wasn't a lot of titles like that. There was the NABF and the USBA and UBF, some of these little titles, but those titles were shit. But you knew if you won the NABF or USBA, you were going to get in the top 20. Yeah. That was your ranking. Or top 15. Top 15. Yeah. And then now you get in that silver title, you just broke the top 20. That's the Pika box title, the WBC silver title, you've kind of made it, into the rankings a little bit. But hey, good show today. And next Sunday, if you're not too tired, I guess we'll knock another one out. We will do that. Yep, we'll talk about this Lipinets fight. I will be back on Saturday, so I will be fine for Sunday. Yeah, I want to get out here and go get some food. Absolutely. And good show, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. And if you like the show, what do they got to do, Kelly? Subscribe, share. Ricardo, I take Frank from Garcia's camp to beat Butterbean. Subscribe, share, ring that bell. Ring that bell. Ring that beautiful bell footage. Daniel says, WBC should have done why he was supposed to fight Brazil in final. Yeah, that's how it works sometimes. I mean, they're going to go after a fight that their guy can win or a guy that is going to generate money for them. But hey, guys, thanks for watching. Tune in next week, and we'll have something new for you. We're going to have Sean Porter soon, right? Yeah. Sean Porter's going to come on soon, so we can see what's going on with Sean. Get in touch with him. Get in touch with Sean Porter. And that'll be soon. Kelly has contact. We talked to Sean. He said he'd love to come on, so there we go. That'd be awesome. All right, and we are out. Have a good one.